Sherwood Anderson didn't really show an inclination toward writing as a kid. His nickname as a kid was Jobby, and it was because he was spending all of his time doing odd jobs to support his large family. And he was very close to his mother, but one of the things that he felt was he felt very sorry for her, because he said his memories of her were her bent over a wash tub taking in people's laundry. And so even though he dropped out of school to help support his family, he did enroll himself in Wittenberg Academy in Springfield, Ohio, to earn what would today be called a GED, or his high school diploma equivalent. And it was through Wittenberg Academy that he was placed in a job as an advertising writer in Chicago, and that, of course, is where he discovered his talent for writing. His father was a great storyteller and would mass crowds of, townspeople to hear his stories. And Sherwood wasn't really one who wanted the limelight like that, didn't want people to mass around him so much, but he did want to tell stories, and I really think that that's his legacy, is as a storyteller. It was not a bestseller, we'll put it that way, but it was a critical success, and many writers really liked the book and found elements of style that they didn't find anywhere else, and found a voice they didn't find anywhere else. Winesburg, Ohio is unique because of its psychological approach to developing the characters. The 19th century style of writing, which was still popular early in the 20th century, required the reader to gain an understanding of the motives, characters' motives, through their dialogue and through their actions. But here was Anderson doing something different, taking the reader inside the mind of the character and actually showing the reader what the character was thinking. What Winesburg, Ohio did was shock the public, but it also won the hearts and minds of the literary critics of the time. Death in the Woods is based on two experiences that Sherwood Anderson had. One was in Clyde as a youth, when apparently he came across the frozen body of an old woman who was lying dead in the woods. And the second is when he was living in Chicago. He said that he was out for a walk in the woods and was circled by a pack of wild dogs. And it was really a blending of these two experiences, put together with some stories he heard from people in Clyde and in Chicago, and some information that he gathered about dogs and their behavior, and put the story together with all of these different elements. Death in the Woods was rewritten many times, but it's not all that unusual for any writer to rewrite his or her stories. In fact, that's part of the process. But Anderson rewrote many of his stories because he was unhappy with the outcome, and he felt a need to rewrite until he got the story just how he wanted it. He went out of his way not only to help people like Ernest Hemingway and William Faulkner and other popular writers, but many, many writers who no one will ever know or ever hear of. And I really believe that's his legacy. Number one is as a Midwestern storyteller, and number two, as somebody who helped writers and had a sincere desire to help them.